What is up, guys? It's Brillymister here and welcome to today's video. If you do enjoy the video, then don't forget to drop a like, leave a comment and subscribe, and hit all the links up down below to Twitch and Discord. Enjoy the video. What is up, everybody, and welcome to my loot from 10 hours of AFK'ing Gregorovic. Really hope you do enjoy this video. It was a really nice chilled out one to make and surprisingly profitable, and you'll see exactly how profitable very shortly. Enjoy the video, guys. So I've got in my inventory now all of the loot that I got from the whole 10 hours of doing Greg. It's very easy for me to tell you how many kills as well that I've got because I only had one KC beforehand. It was my second last thing for Reaper, believe it or not. So I got 308 now, so I got 307 kills in the 10 hours, which is roughly just over 30 kills now. I will break it all down nice and properly into detailed loot per hour, loot per kill and all that in the next sort of slides. I'll just go through sort of what I've got in my inventory and everything first. So I did try originally doing it with Micro's AFK method, but it wasn't really AFK enough for me, but the kills were definitely quicker than the method I did settle on. So I spoke to a few of my friends, and one of my friends called Jay, who's got like 10,000 Greg kills that he's all done AFK on mobile, sent me his AFK setup and I used that one instead. The kills were a little bit slower. I went from doing sort of 1 minute 10 to 1 minute 20 kills, and I went up to sort of doing like 1 minute 30ish kills. They definitely were a little bit slower, but it was so much more AFK. I found with Micro's one, if I wasn't on Vampirism Aura as well as the Scrimshaw, I was really struggling to keep my hit points up, and I was having to constantly pay attention and eat. However, if you're going to actively just kill Greg, it's actually still not a bad method to use, but I wanted to do it a bit more AFK, so I used this method here, and even not on an Aura, as long as I had a Vampirism Scrimshaw on, I could completely AFK, do Big Game Hunter or whatever on my Iron Man, and it was absolutely awesome. But yeah, the kills were slightly slower, so you got a mix of the two strategies here. I gave Micro's one a go at the beginning and then decided I wasn't AFK enough, basically. So what we got here, we got pretty lucky actually with kind of what we got, I think. We got 8 drops in 10 hours, so 8 drops in 300 kills. I feel like that is slightly over drop rate, but not massively. So yeah, I'd say I'm a little bit lucky, but not horrendously lucky. Yeah, so we got basically got 2 of everything. Got 2 glaives, 2 offhand glaives, 2 crests, and 2 essence. Not that it really makes much difference because they are all pretty much the same price, like 8.7 mil, 9 mil, 8 mil. 9 mil. So they're all pretty much the same price. It doesn't make much difference. I was also pleasantly surprised at how much the common loot here was. It seems better than the other God Wars dungeon bosses, but that could just be in my imagination as I haven't killed any of them for such a prolonged period of time for a while. So if we put it all in the price check now, we can see what the total is. I haven't actually looked at this yet, so it's going to be a nice surprise to me what the total value is. I just had it off my like drop tracker thingy. So we chuck it all in, and ooh, 99.3 mil, that's not too bad. I'm sure I probably got some coins as well along the way, but they'll have gone automatically into my pouch. I'd probably add another mil on there, so it'd be at least 100 mil I've got, which is absolutely awesome. And as you can see, most of the value here has come from the crests and the glaives and all that sort of thing. All the like rare drops is where a bulk of your GP comes from. It's like basically 20 mil a go almost each time there, which is awesome. I also got a lot of anima core, so I mean if a few more of those had been actual drops rather than anima core, that would have been sweet. And I think I might have been a little bit unlucky on the essence, because I'm sure the essences are a lot more common than any of the other drops, and obviously I got the same amount of them. Also the grimy dwarf weeds also really add up, 10k each, and that's like 6.3 mil there. And the battle stars, it drops like 55, 60 of these at a time, and they really do start to add up quite quickly. Yeah, so we've got 1,700 of them in the 10 hours, which is awesome, and that's like 5 mil there. And then as you can see, we slowly start going down. We've got a bit of rune salvage. I'm surprised that the medium rune salvage is more than the large rune salvage, but it obviously drops it a lot more frequently, or more of it each time. And the diamonds, look how much diamonds are now, they're nearly 6k each. So the 640 diamonds has added up to nearly 4 mil as well. And then you got all your random stone spirits, which make up kind of the least valuable ones there. Although the necrot ones are pretty decent, 400k each. And then I had a couple of rare drop tables. I got one of each half the key, which is almost a no value as well. So you can see that in pure drop terms, I have nearly got 10 mil an hour, which was what I almost wanted to test to see was what it was advertised on Micro's guide. And if I'd carried on with his method all the way through where I was getting slightly faster kills, it would probably been over the 10 mil an hour. So it definitely is 10 mil an hour, which is awesome. So we're going to go into the slides now, and I will break it down, take out all my costs, and see how much profit we actually made. This will be the really interesting bit to see whether the 10 mil loot per hour converts into a decent profit margin, because this is quite a high level method, and you know, you're using trimmed masterwork and like a vampirism scrimshaw, which obviously costs a bit as well. So it's quite an expensive method to do, so I'm going to be interested, once I broke it all down, to see how much the actual profit is. So we get into the more detailed breakdown now, and I've included a picture of my A-log for my Gregorovic kills in the top right hand corner there, because I forgot to include the coins in my last one, and I wanted to be able to show you there the accurate coin value, and that I wasn't adding extra to the price check or anything for the breakdown or anything that might throw it off. So there's the picture of the A-log for the 307 kills is in the top right corner there. So obviously I did 307 kills, which averages out at 30.7 kills per hour, which is not too bad. That's about a minute 30 a kill, plus respawn time and that kind of thing. My total loot for the 10 hours was 101.4 mil. So that works out as the actual loot that I brought in per hour is over 10 mil. It's 10.1 mil an hour. The loot per kill, therefore, is 330k per kill, which is actually a pretty decent amount per kill if you think about it. But that is heavily dragged up by all the unique drops that I got in there, and the actual standard loot is obviously nowhere near 330k average. There's a couple that are nearly 300k, but most of them are about 100, 150k. But this is where it all starts to go downhill a little bit. The cost here. The fact that it's such a high level method, and you need things like the vampirism scrimshaw, trimmed masterwork, and that kind of stuff, and there's quite a bit of Hydrix jewellery as well, to keep yourself alive and be able to AFK this. The cost per hour are very high. Like, you could probably bring the cost per hour down and not AFK it, and that would probably make you more money, but I wanted to nice and completely AFK it, and my cost came out at 3.1 mil per hour. Oh, 3 mil per hour. So we take that off from the actual loot, and it comes out at 71.4 mil total profit, which works out as just over 7.1 mil an hour, which for something that's pretty much AFK all the time, like I'm actually AFKing it now whilst editing this video. I actually got another what are they called, essence about 5 kills ago, which is awesome. Yeah, so it's very AFK, and 7.1 mil an hour that AFK is awesome, as well as it being like a boss, so it's another boss monster, and like you can get another log complete from it, which you may or may not have. I don't have the log, I still only need the pet now, which is pretty good going. But yeah, it's definitely worthwhile doing for 7.1 mil per hour. So we'll go into the next slide, and I'm going to start comparing it to all the other bosses that I've done in my Loot from 10 Hour series so far. So next up, we are going to move on to the comparisons. I've had to shrink down the format of this a little bit just from the pure amount of bosses that I've now done. In fact, the next boss that I do is actually going to be onto like a third column now. But I've kept the most important bit, which is the total GP profit per hour once all the costs and everything have been deducted. It's also important to note that this is the average GP per hour that I got in the 10 hours of my testing. Your GP rates may vary depending on luck. There's some of them that I was very lucky at, for example, like Hellware and Araxian Magister, and then there's the other ones which on the other end I was very, very unlucky at. For example, Vindicta, where I did not get a single drop or a single rare drop in the entire 10 hours there, so the 2.78 mil an hour is in pure standard loot. So you can see that Greg holds up pretty consistently with the other God Wars Dungeon 2 bosses I've done. It's between the Hellware and Vindicta, and I'd say the fact that I got fairly average luck here, that is actually roughly what you can expect to be your profit margins to be, which is awesome. It comfortably beats out both of the God Wars Dungeon 1 bosses, Kriara and Krill, and I personally expect them to be a little bit less money per hour now than they were then, because it was just after like Ancient Invention came out, so everyone wanted the bits for components, so I think the prices were a little bit inflated. Same thing with ED2, I didn't get a single codex while I was doing ED2, so that's just the standard loot, but that's actually not too bad, 5.5 mil an hour with no real drops, which is pretty decent. General Grador, it just turned out to be just generally trash all round and basically not worth doing. Corp was okay, 4.6 mil an hour, that was one of the first ones I did. I'm pretty confident now that with the tier 92 spears I could kill it a lot quicker and it would be much faster. I did it with like a Mizuari, I think was the best in slot at the time, so yeah, like the Corp could definitely be redone and improved. I might actually do that just to see how much difference having the tier 92 spear makes. It'll be more in terms of kills rather than anything else. But as you can see here, that Greg holds up pretty well, and the fact that it's a lot more AFK than most of the stuff here, with the exception of the God Wars Dungeon 1 bosses and maybe Corp, which can be fairly AFK now. It's probably the most AFK thing on here, and the fact that the GP holds up at 7.1 mil per hour is absolutely awesome. So yeah, it's definitely worth doing if you want to AFK and get some good money. I will consider making a AFK money making guide for it soon, but for now there is one that you can use, which is micros. It's just not quite as AFK as the method I used myself, but the kills were slightly faster. So that is going to conclude today's video. Really hope you guys did enjoy it and found it somewhat informative as well. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for all the future content. There are also links in the description to Twitch and Discord. Until next time guys, see ya.